Subscribe now! Subscribe!
Free Sammy! Free Sammy! No! Okay, I'll subscribe. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dave and Jay's Powerbomb. When we just watched July 22nd, 2020's episode of AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, and to start off the show in a must-beat Vince match, we have Cody, the TNT Championship, putting the open challenge out there, and 18-year indie veteran Eddie Kingston was the one to answer the challenge.
Eddie Kingston was a lean machine. He talked really good as soon as he came on in there, and he was about to put the beats on Cody. Wouldn't you say, Dave?
Oh yeah, they took it. It was a no disqualification match. Tony Khan handpicked Eddie Kingston, and they went crazy, man. They went out there and they were throwing it, and there's no rules, and
it was so entertaining.
Happened.
It was what I'm going to call the match of the night. Right off the bat, they gave us the match of the night,
and it was tight. Maybe this was the match of the night. You're right. We'll talk about the second contender later. But like, yeah, this was back and forth. It was crazy. Eddie Kingston, he's pretty good. We'll see what happens with him. Near the end, though, we had a bunch of thumbtacks.
Oh my God!
Cody must bleed for AEW.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
Cody needs you. Go to the Red Cross.
Yeah. So they had a must-beat Vince match for the ratings right off the hop, and something crazy happened. Yeah, so Eddie Kingston, in a tribute to Dave and Jay's powerbombed Cody onto the thumbtacks, and that was a pretty crazy spot. And they still went back and forth. However, Cody was able to lock in that figure four submission, and right next to the thumbtacks, and Cody is still our TNT champion. And that was an excellent match. Jay says it's the match of the night. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. I say it's the match of the night.
And we had another favorite of Jay's and mine, MJF with Wardlow versus Griff Garrison, or as MJF called him tonight,
Jungle Boy,
Jungle
Jack
Man,
Perry, or whatever.
Jungle Man.
Yeah, look at you
and
doing
like,
with all your hair and stuff.
He was like talking shit like before the bell. MJF was bringing up some poignant points that he's been undefeated in singles competition, and that is true. And he was talking shit during the match as well when he was beating down Griff Garrison there. Right?
Yeah, like you were just thinking like, hey, Griff Garrison, oh, typical job squash me match. No, it was much more vicious and vile.
Yeah, more than a squash, like a stomp match or something.
Yeah.
And but he made Griff Garrison say it. He was so upset that people weren't calling him undefeated that he made Griff Garrison say it while he's beating him down. And Griff Garrison said, "You're undefeated." And then they had, the finishing move here was the Heat Seeker pile driver. It's pretty crazy. The torque he gets off that. He has the guy draped over the middle rope or something, and then like he just lifts him up and then like gives him the pile driver. Like, it's pretty crazy.
I've never seen that one before. That was pretty cool.
And MJF with a win. And then we go to a favorite of Jay and ours, Britt Baker. She's doing another rules of being a role model, and we are on rule number 4, which is never count out a role model.
Never count it out. All you bastards, all you ladies in the fucking women's division there, picking on Britt. Nah, she is our next champ. She's coming for you, Sheeta. She's coming for you.
Yeah, and they're showing footage of her, I guess she had a nose operation, and it's pretty gruesome, so she's been through a lot. So we'll see what happens with that. And then we have Brian Cage coming out with Taz. And they're out there talking, and Taz was saying Brian Cage almost fired him because Taz threw in the towel last week, but then he realized, hey, like 2 bicep tears is worse than 1 bicep tear.
And did you actually really care what any of these fuckers had to say, Dave?
Not really, but then Darby Allin came out there, and he was getting all fired up and ready to get out there, but then a newcomer on the scene, Ricky Starks, he answered Cody's challenge one time, the open challenge for the TNT Championship, and he ambushed Darby and gave him his finishing move, which is pretty
literally
impressive.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's got this crazy kind of scoops him up and then slams him down in a Dominator move. It's pretty cool. But then Darby Allin was saved by none other than a barbed wire bat wielding Jon Moxley. And that was that. And then after that, they announced that they're going to have a Women's World Cup Tag Team Tournament, which should be pretty good.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that.
It'll bring depth to the women's division, which much needs it.
Too many injuries. Yeah. And we had words from Jericho backstage. He's complaining that his suit smells like orange juice, and it cost him $7,000. So he has a right to be pissed off still.
Le champion, le smelly like le pew.
Yeah. He's my hero. And then we have a Falls Count Anywhere match between the Young Bucks and the Butcher and the Blade that starts right now.
Oh yeah.
And they were in like
this I would have to say this was definitely a contender to it.
Yeah, this might be the match of the night.
No, it's not,
pretty crazy.
because nobody fell in a bunch of tacks.
They did some crazy shit we'll tell them about later. But yeah, it looks like they were like backstage. It started like in a back room makeshift butcher.
They were in the kitchen.
Yeah, what was it
kitchen it was the kitchen at the deli center they started
yeah.
And
then,
Butcher and the Blade were like chopping up some prime rib or something.
Yeah, and then they put their knives down and they hand sanitized first, and then the match started, and they're slamming each other on these meat tables with wheels and stuff, and like it was crazy. Like there's a lot of action. Like you should probably just watch it for yourselves. But like yeah, a lot of crazy shit happened. They're diving off the top of bars and shit, like onto people through tables and super kicks going crazy.
Super kicks, tables being broken left and right.
They super kicked the Blade onto an escalator, and then
that was an actually pretty cool visual.
Yeah, and then they cut the commercial. And then like some crazy shit happened. Oh yeah, the Blade, he messed up. They had tables set up, and he was going for a suicide dive on one of the Jackson brothers, and then he just like totally missed the table. And like I thought he was, we both thought he was down for the.
We thought we were going to have to do another Dave and Jay's injury report.
Yeah, man.
We've never really done one. Yeah. It's just in our head titles, and we're right.
Yeah. And then what happened? Oh yeah, the end of the match. Yeah, this was crazy. This is what I think made the match of the night. But Cody's was pretty good too at the tags. It's a tough call. But yeah, both of the Jackson guys climbed on top of both of the entrances, so they're like probably like 20 feet up in the air, and they have both the Butcher and the Blade on tables like on in front of each of the entrances. And then one of them does an elbow drop, and the other one does a Swanton Bomb tribute to Jeff Hardy. And then of course they both pin the guys, and it's pretty academic after that. 1, 2, 3, Young Bucks with the big one.
Yeah. Pinfalls anywhere.
Then we go to a segment with Murderhawk, Lance Archer, and Jake Roberts, and they're like outside the locker room, and then like Jake Roberts is talking to the interviewer guy, and Murderhawk like beats up like 4 ham and eggers.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm gonna show you something." Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, I'm bad."
He's a bad person. Yeah,
basic garbage can.
Then we had a women's match, Diamante versus Ivelisse, and it was pretty garbage. This could have been on AEW Dark, or they could have made this.
They've done tag team on Dark before or something like that.
They could have made this a triple threat match with Penelope, and then like Penelope could have got the win, and it could have kept these other 2 women still on TV if that's what needed to happen. I don't know. But it was a crap match. Then Diamante rolled up Ivelisse with a small package for the win. And then we had a big match. Jay's team, Dark Order, he's number 3. We had number 5 of the Dark Order versus Hangman Adam Page. And they're going back and forth. It's a pretty good match. Allin Angel is his number 5, and they call him the Dark Angel of the Dark Order. And then like during the match, all the Dark Order appeared on the stage.
Yeah.
And then
except Brodie Lee.
Yeah, but then what happened? Hangman got the pop-up power bomb and pinned number 5, and then Brodie Lee and Colt Cabana came out after the match.
And Colt Cabana.
Yeah, and Colt Cabana seems like he's pretty happy to be there. He's on a winning
I think
team,
he's definitely going to be swinging on over, and I'm actually I kind of want to see this happen. It's going to make some interesting storyline, man.
So then what happens is Brodie Lee comes into the ring, and he offers his protection to Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page responds by saying, "I'm not quite ready to join a cult right now." And then it became a 5-on-1 beatdown. And then FTR, though, comes out with the save.
Quickly comes out.
They smoke those guys with a cooler of beer. And then Kenny comes out late, right? And then Kenny's not looking too good. And then they give Hangman a beer. And then Kenny's looking all sad. So, but I don't like the FTR guys because that bald weirdo last week disgraced the country of Mexico by removing the mask of Rey Fenix, and that's something you don't do.
Free Sammy.
Free Sammy. Yes. And then, so then next week they announced that there's going to be an AEW Tag Team Championship match. It's going to be Stu Grayson and Evil Uno as from the Dark Order. And they're the #1 contenders, and they're having a match next week for the titles, so that should be good. And then our main event tonight, we have Jurassic Express, accompanied by Marko Stunt, and they're facing off Jericho and Jake Hager. And this is a pretty great match. Like, Jericho's and Hager are both pros, and they're going back and forth. And then like they cut to like Matt Hardy sitting alone in like the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
He's all looking sad.
I'm broken in my soul, so it makes me sad in the pants.
He's crazy, right? And then what happened? Oh yeah, and then Jericho was screaming out, "I'm crazy! I'm crazy!" Ah.
Well, he was kind of. It does seem like he's losing it sometimes.
Of course,
but then
man. He's
everybody
lost a $7,000 jacket. Man, it smells like orange juice. Can't get that stink off.
But he's going crazy like Cody.
Cody's the next level of crazy. And then Audrey and Jericho have a showdown. Jericho's trying to bring Floyd into the ring.
Floyd the bat, yeah.
They're saying, "Oh, they gotta find Jericho." Jericho, this isn't fake news. I didn't see Jericho touch Audrey, so I mean, I don't think any fines need to be issued. And then what happened? Okay, so near the end of the match, Serpentico of AEW Dark fame comes out, and he comes out with a bat, and he comes out from the crowd, and he smokes one of those guys in the back, which goes into the code breaker from Jericho.
And then we get our 1,
big
2,
win,
3,
Jericho.
and the boys are just being the boys, right?
Post-match noogies and beatdowns.
Yeah,
Serpentico might be a new member of the Inner Circle, right? He's coming in, and then he goes up for this big shooting star press off the top rope.
Yep.
And then the camera zooms in real tight, and he's
and
taking off the mask. Who could it
who's
be?
doing that?
Who's
It's
doing
gonna
that?
be,
Who's
it's
that?
gonna be
Free
Sammy!
Holy
Free
shit.
Sammy!
They
got
listened
Sammy
to us.
back.
They
Yes,
listened to us.
Free
And
Sammy.
AEW responded, and we have our hero back.
Sammy went through his 2 weeks
Free
of
Sammy.
sensitivity
It's
training.
been like a month, man, without Sammy.
Oh,
Man, The
man,
Inner
that was
Circle
horrible,
wasn't the
man.
same.
No, man,
There's,
we
like,
didn't have to talk
Jericho
about the
and 3
boys or
other
anything. Look at this, we're just totally
Inner
excited, and we're
Circle's
both
back.
rambling together, and nobody's
The
gonna
sex
hear us.
gods are
Yeah,
back.
the sex gods are
This
back.
is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane. So then, oh shit! And then the best friends ran in there of Orange Cassidy, and the Inner Circle came out, and they ran out. They didn't run out. They just walked off. They're celebrating tonight.
For us,
They're
it
celebrating
stopped.
tonight.
The credits rolled for AEW after Sammy took his mask off.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was no other crap.
So
Yeah,
5-on-5 match next week.
Yeah.
All members of the Inner Circle. Free Sammy, finally. Yes, they listened. The Powerbomb got it done. Our campaign got it done.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah,
And
thanks for the
5-on-5 next week. Inner
547
Circle versus
views on
whoever.
our
We got
Penelope
Sammy
Ford
back.
video, yeah.
So we're gonna end it like this, guys. Free Sammy. See you next week.
Free Sammy. Join the Dark Order now.